Welcome back to the podcast. This time my guests are Newcastle band Park View. The band have only been going a couple of years and already there are 5 singles out, and they've just released another one which is an acoustic version of their last single, Lights. So they've released this acoustic version which they performed on another podcast, a Newcastle-based podcast called Off the Stage. We spoke about how the band write their songs, and we spoke in quite a bit of depth about the recording process as well. And as well as that, we kind of spoke about the music scene in the North East and how it seems to be thriving. We spoke about all of this plus a whole lot more. Hope you all enjoy the podcast. Please keep liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing, and more importantly, enjoy. If you stay. On the podcast today, I have 2 members of Newcastle band Park View. I've got Alfie Kelly, the singer, and Alex Potter, lead guitarist. So probably two best members to have on.
I would say so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Confirmed.
So we're going to touch on their career. I've not been going long, but already got 5 singles out. So we're going to touch on what they've been up to and what's coming up in the future. But what I like to do at the start is kind of get right back to what life was like for you growing up and how that kind of shaped you and moved you into the music industry. So kind of just for whenever you can remember, for when you get out of nappies or whatever, what life was like for you.
I suppose music's always been a big thing in my house. My sister's always done like musical theatre and stuff like that, and like my cousins play guitar. It's just sort of always been something that, like, the radio's always been on the house. There's never been a silent moment. So I think music was just something that naturally has become part of the path, I guess, part of the journey.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I would kind of say the opposite. Like, no one in my family is really musical. I did like piano lessons when I was younger, but that was very much just my mom trying to force me to find new hobbies and stuff. I dropped that, but then when I got into like my kind of mid-teens, like 14, 15, I just like my friends were into it, and I got a guitar and loved it ever since.
Right. So what sort of music we're talking? What sort of music were you kind of listening to?
I think when I first started properly listening to music, my sister was driving me to school, so she was banging to like the sort of like the Fratellis, that sort of indie rock sort of stuff. I remember we used to always have like the Vaccines on, Libertines, all that sort of stuff in the car. So I think that would be the sort of thing that got me into playing. Definitely the stuff that got me into playing. The stuff that I listened to was more along the lines of like bashed Oasis, like when I was younger. Loved it. I used to have an app that would let you download like a dodgy Russian app or something that would let you download music before. It was a lot easier to access, and that would like let you get certain songs, but it would always be covers. So I'd always be listening to like Oasis, but it would be like some Scandinavian bloke singing it instead of the actual brothers.
Martin, you're wearing the t-shirt. Like, I was obsessed with Oasis when I first started getting into like guitar and stuff. Alfie knows I was probably a bit too much into Oasis at the time. I was after the haircut, the jackets, everything. I've actually got it here. Actually, the first thing I ever got when I got my guitar was I got a songbook,
right,
with like other chords in it and that, and that's pretty much how I learned. I mean, it's like it's folded open onto like the first song I learned was Half the World Away. Second was Live Forever, and then for about a year, my parents hated Oasis because it's the only thing I'd play. Honestly, they were sick of it, and now, I mean. I thankfully I've broadened my horizons a bit, like, but I still love them. Them and the Beatles and that, you can't beat them.
Yeah, And that's what I was like growing up. All my pals were into Oasis, and there's only maybe 2 or 3 years I've kind of, as you say, kind of broadened their horizons. See if I connected with the majority of them now. It's still just be Oasis they were into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you do. I mean, I looked at Oasis and who they liked and who they were influenced by, and then I always kind of progressed through that, and
Yeah.
always like to know what bands were influenced by, and then you go and check them out. That's how you learn all these new
Oh, definitely.
bands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was school like? Were you was any other career paths that you were ever going to go down other than music?
Well, we went to the same school, me and Alex. It was class. We went to St Thomas More in North Shields, and it was mint. I think career paths wise, bloody hell, I don't know. I think at one point I would have been a swimmer. I used to swim when I was younger, so I think that would have been on the list. But
You're a good swimmer. Good. Don't put yourself down. You're a good swimmer.
yeah, I was a good swimmer. So I think that would have been like I was going to go to university in America to do that, but if
Right.
I'd done that, I wouldn't be doing this now. So I think for all the right reasons, I've ended up doing more music stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I'm at university at the moment. I'm doing medicine, and I mean, it's tricky because it's time consuming, but there's no other way I'd want to spend like any second I can. You know, I mean, I love practice. I love like practicing at home. I love gigging, and I mean, obviously, it does take up a bit of my time, my studies, but like, there's no other way I'd want to spend the rest of it. Like, so, I mean, I don't know. It's just been a lush way to kind of.
It's a nice fallback to have. If it all goes tits up, you can be a doctor.
Handy.
Well, this is actually what would happen if you get offered a job, if you graduate it and you get offered a job as a doctor while the band's still going.
If I'd graduated and the band was looking like it was going somewhere, I would definitely say chase the band, because you can leave like as long as like I've passed and I've got like the degree or whatever it is, you know, like then it's all right. I can leave it and go back to it if I have to. The tricky thing is that, I mean, yeah, fingers crossed it does, but if it's over the next couple of years while I'm still like not there yet, that's when I'm going to have to make a bit of a decision. But hopefully, you know, hopefully it does. It's bittersweet because if it does, that's mint.
It's going to be overnight, man.
Well, fingers crossed. But if it doesn't, then I've got that. So happy days.
It can happen quickly as well. That's the thing. Nowadays, you can't no have a job and be in a band.
Yeah,
it's no like it used to be.
Yeah, unfortunately, like I think there's a lot of people think, oh, you're in a band, like, oh, you get paid for your gigs and all that stuff, but like you've got to be like not even big. You've got to be massive before you make money. Like you've got to be really quite something, you know. And like that's not like it doesn't put me off. I don't mind not making money off it. I enjoy doing it enough. You know what I mean? Like I think we all do. Like all the lads in the band, like when we play a gig, we know that all the money from that gig's going straight back into a recording, but it's not going to stop us from doing it. I think obviously the goal is to get massive and, you know, not have a job, but you are right. There's just no other way to do it. You've got to have one just to keep going, don't you?
Yeah, it's nuts, man. So, forming the band, was there any other kind of musical inclinations before Use Five kind of came together?
Well, I suppose it already started with me, Alex, and Tom. I guess Tom's our rhythm guitarist.
Mm-hmm.
So we sort of like me and Alex have always been really really close mates, and we sort of both knew that the other one was into music, but sort of never really had the balls to sort of get together and try anything for ages.
Yeah.
And then when I went into my first year accommodation at uni, which was called Park View, we started like jamming together, and then we got Tom round, and just because Tom was like a friend of a friend, so and we knew he had like some stuff on SoundCloud that he'd like mixed himself, which sounded pretty good. So we were like, "Oh, why don't you come over and we'll just see what happens?" And then here we are, a year and a half later, chilling out, ready to do more shows.
I know. I always thought I'm not actually really spoke to you about Alfie, but I always considered the start of like the very start was, remember I had the barbecue at mine and you
Oh
came
yeah.
round like dead early and we're just like, oh God, like I've got a keyboard at home. I played some Adele. It's the only thing I know on the keyboard. Someone like you, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll give it a try." But like that was the first time I thought me and you were really like knew that each other were interested in it. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's when for me since then, and then obviously meeting with Tom was when it really started. But I think that was the first point me and you were both like knew each other were kind of heading that way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how quickly then were you out gigging?
It actually took longer than we hoped,
Yeah.
because it was just, mate, drummers are like gold dust. Like
Oh,
it took us ages to find Josh, who's our beloved drummer. But when we actually first found him, I mean, it's a bit in the grey area as to whether or not he'd actually played the drums
he
before.
said he did. He said he did. He said he did. I do believe him. But in fairness, he said he was like 12 or 13 when he did it. And then he's like, something, we were like, what, 20, like maybe 1920 when we
Yeah,
first,
19.
yeah, like 1920. So he'd not played for like 5 years, 6 years. And we were saying to like, oh, like, do you reckon you get back into it? He was like, oh, well, but it took us like, even just all of us playing together, because it was the first time most of us, maybe bar you, Alfie, had played with like a group, like live at once. So it took us, I mean, God, when did we start putting out demos? Like May 2021?
Yeah, and we did them way before we started actually gigging.
Yeah, and then the first gig was like January. That was the first one. And then April was the full one. So it was almost a year before we got actually gigging.
Yeah. And like, even still, like, so Louis, who's our bass player, is a good friend of Alex's, and like, you always knew that Louis liked music, and he's a fantastic guitarist, and Tom's a fantastic guitarist, and I play guitar, and Alex plays guitar. Yeah. Someone had to get shoved onto the bass. So Louis took the hit, bless him. Yeah.
I think if you look through musical history, some of the best bassists were brilliant on the guitar as well. So it's no disrespect to Chuck Sumner.
No.
Is he the tallest?
He is actually.
He is the tallest,
Usually
not a tall band.
Usually find a bass player has to be a big, tall, lanky.
So well, you see, he
looks. We're all
Sorry,
pretty on the lower end of the height.
We're compact, like we're easy to travel. Like, so I'd say he's like 5'10", 5'11", and we're like 5'9", 5'10" with shoes on is what I say. Yeah. And he's like a little, so he is the tallest, but we're hardly like we're hardly
by default.
Yeah, by default. Yeah. It's an easy job.
Yeah. So I mean, I've had a few Newcastle bands. Obviously, I've had Bear Park. I've had Mark for the PV Wonders. I've also had Andrew Cushion, no jotting big names out there. And I spoke to them all about the kind of scene. Obviously, I know you're for Whitley Bay, but you kind of Newcastle would be your scene.
Yeah.
Which obviously, when I think back to Newcastle bands before, you kind of that scene, you had Futureheads and Maximo Park, and then kind of before that, you had maybe Jimmy Nail and Lindisfarne and all that. There didn't seem to be much, but obviously for doing the podcast, I spoke to so many of you now. So what do you think the scene's like nowadays? It seems to be kind of bubbling with bands.
Yeah, I think at the minute it's pretty exciting to be a part of. I think there's a lot of new young bands coming through that are really, really good. They've got a lot of talent. I think it's obviously being helped with a massive boom from Sam Fender, who's came through, and he's releasing his third album now that we're all sure is going to be a corker. But yeah, I think it just seems to be a lot more buzz around the smaller end of live music. I think, to be honest, I'm hoping as well, Newcastle's a party city, and you can only do it for so long. So on a Saturday night, maybe spend your £10 entry on going to a gig instead these days,
Aye. All you've got to do is look under the cover. Like, I kind of didn't until we started. I wasn't aware of like the amount of like grassroots talent there is. But the second you start, like one gig where you're supporting someone, you check who you're supporting out, you check who they've played without, and you think, God, there's so much talent everywhere, and all you've got to do is like click through one Instagram page, and then you've got like tens of bands that are just mint and waiting to be heard. So I think that's been one of the best parts for me, is like there's so many mint bands from the area that have class tunes that all you have to do is look a little bit and you'll find them. Like,
I find the music is especially with the up and coming bands, the music seems to be like really raw, and like everyone sort of like hits the same sort of like feeling. Like, I think it's good at the minute getting people behind it. There seems to be a lot more, I don't know whether it's money or whether it's just people, but it just seems to be a lot more buzz around the whole idea of music coming up through the roots, I guess.
Yeah. Well, obviously, like, as I say, I watched both episodes of that podcast off the stage, and for what I kind of gather for the boys, they're kind of interviewing local musicians, so they're over 100 episodes, and I think you are the only ones that I've seen that been on it twice. So there seems to be just hundreds of talent there that I'm going to be looking at the podcast and seeing if there are any other guests to get for them.
Definitely, yeah.
It's definitely something that I'm going to tap into, kind of this scene down here, because I kind of just thought it was Andrew Cushion and Sam Fender, and there's so much more once you delve into it. Release wise, obviously, as I say, you've had 5 releases. The first one only came out March 2023. It has kind of got that Sam Fender sound on it. Was that something that you kind of strive to get, or do you think that's just kind of seeped in for him being the big star in the scene?
I think it's something that sometimes, like, you've got to almost like remind yourself to steer away from. Not as in like it's a bad sound, because it's not a bad sound. And when anyone says your song sounds like anyone else, you're doing something right. Do you know what I mean? But I think Sam Fender, a lot of the time, it creeps in with a lot with my voice and just me singing so high pitched, like I've got no bollocks. But I think it's definitely something we touch on. I think the way he expresses his words, like his guitar playing, like it's so nice that like sometimes it just finds its way in, you know?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely, Alfie's right. It's kind of inevitable in terms of even just the way that we kind of pronounce words in the way that Alfie sings. But we definitely we chase what feels right, and we chase something that we feel sounds good. And if we think he sounds good, so there's going to be overlap there. It's never something, we never listen to it and be like, oh, I want it to sound like Sam Fender, or even like as much as we love him, I want it to sound Oasisy, I want it to sound like the Beatles or whatever. We just kind of chase what sounds right to us, and then obviously like our influences are going to be in that. But that's like the magic of it. Like it's the mix of what we all love, and our differences and our like opinion and taste comes together to be something that, you know, can sound like other people at parts, but sounds like us, sounds like what we want it to sound like.
Yeah.
That's the magic of it, really.
Well, that's it. I mean, like, listening to these 5 songs, I can hear influences for all sorts of. There are bits that sound like other songs, but no to the point where anything's ripped off, because it kind of, the songs move on. Most of the songs kind of maybe sound like 2 or 3 different artists in the one song. So that's, you can tell that you are taking influences for a wide spectrum of the music industry, obviously, Alfie, you touched on being in your sister's car and listening to for tellies and stuff like that. The the third single, "Come Alive," is it "Come Alive" and "Sleep in Your Feet"? Is it like a double?
Yeah, we did like a double.
Both of them, I got kind of the first one, "Come Alive," sounds like, obviously it sounds quite punky. But the View, Dundee band, they done like what was it? It was one of their B-sides, "Clowns" it's called. And it starts off like that. That's what I thought I was listening to there. And then obviously "Sleep in Your Feet," which is kind of more acoustic led. The start of that, I thought it was Jerry Cinnamon, Canter. But then halfway through, it sounds like the DMAs.
Yeah.
So that "Sleep in Your Feet," I think, is my favourite of yours so far. Obviously, you've had another one that's insane, but kind of touching on that, what is the writing process? Who does the writing? Do you all kind of chip in?
I'm just going to stop me dog from snoring. Right. Anyway, the writing process. Honestly, I feel like we're a bit blessed. Like, I don't think it's very often that you get 5 people who all like chipping in to write, and like, not to toot our own horns, but I think we're all just as good as it when we try and do it together. The bulk of it probably comes from me, Alex, and Tom.
Mm-hmm.
But it just depends. Like, we try and keep the set list pretty balanced, because I think it helps with us keeping it fresh. Like, I think we all have different approaches to how we write, and like the way in which we like come up with a song. So I think that helps us to, like, if we've got like a 15-song set list, it helps us to like separate it and keep it a bit more interesting.
Yeah, I think all of our songs that end up being certainly what we consider the best ones have all had input on, like, to like whatever like level, but they've all had input from all of us, whether it be Josh having a specific drumming pattern that he found, or Louis of the bass line, or like me with any lead stuff. Like, all of our best songs have been when it's not just one person saying it should be like this, and this. It's when all of us have kind of went, you don't even need to tell us. I think I found something that sounds really nice. And then that's when you get that general like band feeling, that group feeling.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of what makes us stronger than if we were to just do it individually, you know, because then we're all we all feel it. We all want to feel it.
And how does that then come into recording? Then how does it work when you get into a recording studio? Does everybody know what they're going to do?
Well, we're all meant to, but being in a studio, man, it's just naturally what happens. You go in with an idea and you come out with something different. Like, it's just, but in a good way, in the best way. I think when we're in a studio, we often get encouraged to like maybe like throw in like a little piece that we wouldn't have had in the song originally, because there's loads of bits that you just can't do live as well, like if you need like extra parts and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But recording as well, the approach we often end up taking is stripping it like right back at first, and then sort of adding the layers on as we go. Like, when we always start with the drums, and like Josh will get all that laid down first, but fingers crossed, most of the time things don't have to change dramatically when we go into the studio.
Yeah, we're a big we're a big like cluster of ideas, and I think we're at our best when we all kind of not compromise, but we're all able to go like, okay, I like this one, I don't like this one, I like this one, I don't like this one, this works best. And when we record, I think we take a little bit of extra time to make sure that we do all of that properly and correctly. And I feel that it does take time, and sometimes the recording days are long, but it's always worth it because, like Alfie says, those little additions that you wouldn't have thought of to do live, I think when you've had something for a long time and then you record it, that's what makes it special to that recording. And that's what kind of really brings that recording to life compared to when we're just in a practice room and everyone has to think about think about their own job. And then it just that's a good part of the creative process with recording.
And how do you decide which song you're going to record? Is that for, obviously, when you're gigging, are you looking at which songs have been done well in your gigs, or are you kind of already got an idea of the next song you want to record? Is that through practice?
I think we normally end up going into a studio with an idea for which song we want to do next. But it's always just got to be a discussion. We always talk it out proper, think about which songs we think will like resonate with people the most, which songs we think will do well, like songs that we just like. Because it's important that if we really like a song, we should, I think, like, we end up putting that out there, like putting that up at the top of the priority list, really. Because it's normally the ones that we've got tightest, normally the ones that we've played the most. And like, I think when you have a long time with a song, you really figure out which parts you do and don't like.
Yeah, I mean, we've had loads of time with some where you can feel live, like there's an energy in the room. But I think it's also intertwined with the fact that, like, if we like a song, we bring energy to it when we play it live.
Yeah.
And then that puts energy into the room. So it's like it's 2 feet into each other. Because if we believe in it, we play it like we do. And then, people, like the audience, like people pick up on that. And that's what gives music, like any music, no matter which band, that's what gives it its like life. Do you know what I mean? Where like the band are loving to play it. People like what they're hearing. And then that's like, you can't ignore that feeling. Like when there's that energy in the room and when we're lucky enough to have songs for that long to get that, then obviously like that pretty much makes a decision forward. But Alfie's right. If we've got something new that's like, we just haven't had the gigs to do that in time, if like, you can still get that feeling from 5 people playing in a room. So you can just chase that as well. So it's all about like us believing in it. And if we've had enough time to play it in front of people, them hopefully engaging with it too. But yeah, I would say that's kind of what goes on.
And gigging wise, looking through your gigs and looking through your Instagram, which I was going to touch on your Instagram because a lot of bands, a lot of people I've had in the podcast talk about how key social media is, which it freaks me out. I cannot be after it, but some of the bands that I've had on the last few weeks, it's took me fucking hours looking through their Instagram for like the fucking start, whereas yours is very little on it. Is that a conscious thing, or is that just kind of you just can't be asked what you know?
No, I think the like social media is such a ball ache, man, but it is so necessary, and like you can't have one without the other. Do you know what I mean? Like you've just got to do it, otherwise you won't get anyone coming to your gigs. You won't have anyone listening to your songs, all of that. But I think our Instagram at the moment, we're very focused on the gigs we've got up and coming at the minute. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what the Instagram's full with. When it comes around to like releasing, I like to keep it quite neat. Like we've released songs in the past, and obviously you've got the big build up to the release and all the stuff afterwards. But after Only, for example, for me, I just think it clogs up the profile if we leave all of that on when sometimes it's just not really
right. So what do you do? Do you take it off then after?
I still keep them in the archive. You know, I'm too sentimental to delete anything. But I would just after a certain period of time, I normally just take them down. Just if the interactions have like sort of weaned off, if it's not serving a purpose, then I don't really see why it needs to be on. I'm saying that though, sometimes we just post like some photos that we think are cool or something with a little message underneath and all that, which I think is important as well. Like if you've got, because it's just art in it, like the whole thing. Like I think that's a massive part of it as well. Is like trying to find like the style. Like there's some bands who just do it so well. Who've got like the style. Their Instagram looks so satisfying. Like their TikTok, which is another. Oh, don't even get us started on TikTok.
Well, there you go. I mean, I'm far too old to even comprehend that. I keep thinking about looking into it for the band, but I kind of think, no, they can do that themselves because it freaks me out, man.
Yeah. But like even all that, like TikTok at the minute, our TikTok just has a lot of covers on because it's kind of like, but like there's only so much you can think of to do. Like I mean, I do videos where I'll like talk and like videos of us doing our own stuff, but yeah, like it's really hard to be creative with that sort of thing and keep it ticking over.
Unless you know exactly what you're doing. Like I had a lassie on, I think it's my last episode, that I released, Natty Dread, her name is, and she was posting videos on TikTok during lockdown. She posted a video of her covering Newton Faulkner, and then Newton Faulkner ended up coming on and duetting with her, to the point where now she's been on tour with him 3 times. She shares the same management company as him, and she's
Really?
fucking massive. She had like 2 million TikTok followers or whatever. She built a career for doing a Newton Faulkner cover, basically, and she's massive now. So
Yeah.
I suppose if you've kind of got the wherewithal to kind of stick at it, man, it's no for me. But then yet again, I don't play any music either, so I don't need to worry about it. I just need to worry about my podcast, and that's fucking stressful enough. So gigging wise, then what have you done? Like for what I've seen then on that, it's mainly local shows that I've seen, but have you been kind of further afield?
A few times. We've played in Manchester. We played in Manchester when we very, very first started. What was the place called, Alex?
Oh, I can't remember. It was only with second gig. Was it? It must have been second, maybe third.
Yeah. And we just played like
I can't
acoustically at this really, really expensive
Oh,
bar.
the pints were so expensive. Oh my god. Yeah, that's all I can remember about it.
But that was just like an acoustic gig, and they were recording it, and we got the live sessions back. And I don't know if you've been involved with anything like that where they record a live session. Jesus Christ, you make so many mistakes.
Character. It's character. It's all character. It's not
You can
mistakes.
I had like a voice break on the first song, man. But yeah, we did that one. We did Huddersfield.
Yep, Huddersfield.
Huddersfield was class. I really enjoyed that gig.
Mm-hmm.
That was the parish. At the parish in Huddersfield. That was we played with a band called Long Island, who are kind of like a 1975 vibe, and they're dead cool. They were really nice guys as well. And their lead singer's cool. She sounds like she's got like a cool accent when she sings. Just sounds good. But we've also played Liverpool. Yeah, we did Liverpool. Yeah, that was fun. We've got
have these just been like support slots or whatever? Just kind of it other grassroots bands?
Yeah, I mean, for us, touring's definitely something that we'd love to do, love to accomplish. But while we're still trying to grow, and especially like we want to try and grow our home crowd as much as physically possible, like while we can, and then like eventually go and headline other places. But for us, when we're playing in a different city, we see it. I think it's more beneficial for us to go and play a support gig with someone who's selling out a home crowd, and we'll have 100 people who haven't heard us before, rather than I feel like if we tried to headline somewhere like, I don't know, if we maybe tried to headline somewhere like Birmingham, we'd get there and we wouldn't really know anyone there. And I think it's underestimated how much you actually like not rely on, but how much you end up appreciating the people who do come to your gigs a lot, like family and friends, like the people who come, and like sometimes if they haven't heard of you, there's just nothing you can do. Like there's no point in hiring out a venue and playing a show to 10 people.
And what's the venues like? Is there lots of venues in Newcastle? What are we talking for gigs?
I mean, we've played in like sizes from like 60, 70 capacity to 300, I think. And then obviously you've got bigger ones, like Riverside, like a bigger one, which I think is 1,000-ish. Student Union, same size, and then you've got like the NX in the arena.
Yes, so
obviously we're not played any of them.
State.
Yeah,
not yet.
We'll get there.
It seems to be like more and more. Like I think it's just that there is a buzz around live music at the minute in the city. So it feels like there's a lot in the city centre. Like there's loads of smaller venues, like and like medium-sized venues. So you get a lot from like say 50, 60 cap to like 300, 400, and they're like ideal really. And then even when you come further down to the coast, like we announced actually this morning that we're playing a festival that's coming along, and we're playing in North Shields, which is a 400 cap venue. It's called Salt Market Social. And there was another festival that we played at in, was it March that we played at Stone's Throw? Was it May?
Stone's Throw,
May. Yeah, so we played at Stone's Throw, and I was actually really surprised because although like we went to school in North Shields, like been a long time since I've been to a gig there, and I was like blown away by how many different places there were. I didn't know there was that many there. Like there was some big venues as well that I was really surprised at.
Yeah, but, I mean, like if you look at like the city centre, obviously in Glasgow, we get Sauchiehall Street, and you've maybe got Sauchiehall Street, you get 10, 15 venues, all kind of next door to each other and all that. So there are plenty of places to play. It maybe be something to look into, maybe like doing gig swaps or something. It might be something that you could arrange with yourselves and maybe do something like that further down the line. On the festivals, it's like, see, if they're playing like that festival, did you notice kind of an uptake in your socials or Spotify or anything for playing a festival?
I think I was blown away because we played a pretty small venue at Stone's Throw, and we'll be bagging ourselves a bigger one next year, hopefully. But it was lovely. Like we thought when we were first going, there's some bigger names on this bill. Who's in the nicest way possible, who the fuck's gonna come and see us when you've paid the same price and you could go see anyone else? But bloody hell, you couldn't, like the room was packed out. There was like no air in it.
Yeah.
Like the whole venue, like there was people stood out the door. Like it was unreal feeling.
Yeah, I mean, what took me back from that particular gig, social media, I didn't like. It's. I'm not going to say there wasn't a change. I wasn't aware of one, but what I did notice was new faces and new people at the gig live. Which I mean, as Alfie touched on earlier, like we love and like humbled by support from friends and family and stuff. Like it's unreal, but it's also lovely to see new people, and hopefully they're people that will, continue to be interested and, like support us and stuff. But that's what blew me away was usually you look out and like anywhere from like 40% to like 60% of people.
Yeah.
Like this time, like the first row of people, like I knew, but further back, like I couldn't tell you. And that was like an amazing feeling.
Heading somewhere, didn't you?
It's an amazing feeling.
It's what you want, really, isn't it? Like
you can tell your mum and dad to just patch this gig and just it's all right. We've got enough tickets out.
We've tried. Honestly, I've tried to tell my parents to stay at home many times. There's nothing stopping them, unfortunately.
So, I mean, that takes us up to you released your last single, Lights, in March. Again, it sounds like something, but I don't know what it sounds like, so it just sounds like yours, man. It's class, man. and I see that you're releasing it. Is it tomorrow you're releasing the acoustic version?
Yeah, so we recorded with another podcast, the Off the Stage podcast. We recorded 2 live takes with them. Lights. We thought it'd be cool to release a stripped back version. And just at the moment, like we're focusing on getting our live set together and as tight as possible, and we really want to focus on just having the best show, like putting on a really good show. So I think we will release more in the future, but now it's nice to just sort of put them out, not to just take us over, but it's good to, in my mind, I'm kind of like, if it's there, people might listen, people might not, but it's there. Do you know what I mean? Someone might love it. Even if one person loves it, then it was worth putting it up. And another song that we've got coming out is called She Turns Away, which is one that Alex wrote a while back that we've all loved it. Like we put it in every single headline and set list, but we've just never had the opportunity to record it. So it was nice, almost like we just sort of had it there. So we just said to them like, "Oh, is there any chance you could send it over and we'll put it up?"
As I say, I just watched that one this morning, Lights, and you don't need to worry about any vocal voice cracks or anything like that. You smashed it at the park, Alfie.
Thank you very much.
Definitely.
Thank you very much.
Well acoustic as well. It's a brilliant song when you've smashed it.
I think it's like it has a different sound to it when you take away the bass drums and everything. And I think that's also part of the reason why, because obviously you've got to ask the question why we're putting it up. Like, what's the reason for putting it up? And like Alfie was saying, we're working on lights.
Everybody else in the band, is that it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
and that's why it's just used to that are here.
Yeah. We're putting out an advert. It's all it is. It's all it is. Freestyle over that, and then we'll see if we'll take you. If we've got that, and then as Alfie was saying about She Turns Away, it's a weird, like, it's not a weird energy of a song. It's almost like a halfway point where it's not slow. If you hear it live, it's not like slow, but it's also not. We didn't feel it had the right energy to be put out as a single, and we thought that this was the perfect opportunity to put it out where like it made sense in terms of like it wouldn't be something we could do as a single because it doesn't have the right kind of, well, what we felt was like energy or like thing around it, but we do really like it, so wanted to put it out in some way.
It gives it's a good enough excuse for people to learn the words and sing it back to her at a gig as well.
Yeah.
So
so I'm looking forward to that, and that's out tomorrow, or if people are listening back to the podcast, that was out on the 26th of July, and because this will probably be a week after it. So
all right,
yeah.
So last week, go and check that out for last week on Spotify. One other thing before we kind of move on to the end, on that off stage podcast, there was a wee tale about a Donald Trump doll or something. Which I thought was quite funny given what's happened there the last couple of weeks with Donald Trump, and I'm just worried about how that'll affect maybe your social media presence in America.
Honestly, any publicity. Any publicity is good publicity, isn't it?
We've vetted him. We've vetted Tom Ross. He's perfectly safe. He's perfectly healthy.
I don't know whether you
last seen on a flat roof in America.
No.
I don't know whether
not being out in the States. We've double
would you
checked.
consider that the first attempt? Would you consider Tom's attempt the first one?
He doesn't condone violence. Doesn't condone violence.
I don't know what that was. It was literally, we were playing in Huddersfield. We went into the back room and there was like this like kind of like half human sized doll of Donald Trump.
Yeah, we ask questions on why people are storing something like that anyway.
Yeah, you do.
It's like a jump scare.
Yeah, in like a basement bar's like back cupboard. He was just sat there on the like little leather chair looking at you as you came in.
And we were all like, they'd left a crate of Red Stripe in the back that I think was meant to be for everyone. But by this point, we've seen Donald Trump, the drinks were flowing. Tom did some questionable things to a doll. That's pretty much it.
So what else have you got then coming up, like the rest of the year?
We've got a good few gigs coming up. We're doing a festival and a support gig in the middle of August on the 16th and 19th.
16th and 19th, yeah.
We are hopefully supporting again in Newcastle. And then we are going to be playing Hawaii Fest, which is a new festival. That's on the 28th of September, and we'll be playing that in North Shields, which is good for us. It's a really big venue. We're playing with King Nun, who are a much bigger band than us. So we're all really excited about it. I feel like it's just sort of like a next step for us playing with someone who's a lot bigger. Mm-hmm. Because, we're putting in so much effort. It feels really nice to be almost like rewarded for it. And then after that, headline time, baby. That's the goal.
To be announced. Not giving anything away.
Nothing confirmed, but we're looking at doing a headline, our biggest headliner yet. We're looking at doing towards the end of November.
Brilliant.
Which hopefully should be one big party. Then after that, who knows, man?
Yeah, you need to get your arses up to Scotland, maybe do something up here. But that's something that we can talk about later on. I think that might work a treat if we done some sort of crossover or something.
No,
so what I'll do is I'll post all your links to all your socials, your Spotify and all that for people to get a hold of you. The last bit of the podcast, obviously, it's called Time for Heroes. I asked my guests to pick 4 heroes to come for dinner. Why are they your heroes, and what would you cook for them as well? I hope you've had a think about that, and if you've not...
I was thinking about this just before. I know exactly what I'm cooking. I'm making a Sunday roast.
Wow.
Because I've learned from the GOAT, Tracy Kelly, man. She knows what she's doing with the Sunday roast. She can't cook anything else, but the Sunday roast, wow, it's something else. But I was thinking about this. For me, I think someone who's got to be on the list. I'd have Chris Martin on the list. Personally.
You have Chris Martin.
I have Chris Martin. I think he's I know, especially with the opposition T-shirt on. I know Coldplay don't get some stick off a lot of people.
Yeah, he's Marmite, but I've not really got any issues with him. Like, it's Coldplay, man. Like, see, like at Glastonbury, all the haters at Glastonbury, but you can't argue that they aren't built to headline something like that. They do their job well.
Yeah.
Them or not.
I think I would have Chris Martin. Ooh. Are you allowed to arise people from the dead?
Yes. You can have anything you want.
That's a game changer. Well, I'd have to have some Beatles there, like.
I mean, the drummer for Bear Park could Darth Vader.
Darth Vader. Who would I have?
What, out with the Beatles?
Yeah, I think for me, I'd have George Harrison. He's just a cool
he's hipster.
He's just a hippie, and you just know he's gonna be sick, and he'll appreciate a Sunday roast. I think as well.
I'm not sure if he would appreciate a Sunday roast. I'm not sure.
I'm
mad vegetarian and all that.
Yeah, I agree with Martin. Yeah, I think he'd like ethical issues with whatever like beef you cook.
Yeah.
Mate, I'd make him a veggie Sunday roast if I have to, just to get him. I think it's hard to think about ones that aren't musical, you know.
They don't need a musical either. You can have whoever you like. It's anybody that you. I mean, there could be some sort of film director that influences your music or whatever. It could be anything.
Oh, might have to get I might have to see what Christopher Nolan's doing.
I
on a
knew you
Sunday
were going to
afternoon.
see Christopher Nolan. I knew
I might
you
have,
were.
to see, might have to see what Christopher Nolan's doing on a Sunday afternoon. Like,
What
I
Chris is
mean,
doing.
even if I just got to sit down and watch all his movies with him, I think it'd be worth it. 100% worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, the man who's directed the Dark Knight trilogy deserves a seat at my table any day. Any day. And then I think another one who I would have, my last one that I would have, is a bit of a rogue one. But I've been listening to him a bit recently. I've been listening to, the Tiny Death concerts. Have you ever listened to them?
No, I'm not sure.
Oh, so it's like it's like people, like famous people come and play their songs in like a library, and they're class.
Right.
And one of them is Anderson .Paak.
Mm-hmm.
And he just seems like a really chill guy, and he's just such a good drummer, and he's so cool. So I'd like to have a Sunday roast with Anderson .Paak and see what sort of inspiration I leave with. I leave with a bit of boogie woogie in my step.
I think my pals have played with him at something.
Oh, yeah.
No way.
My pals, I don't know if you heard the Scottish band, the La Fontaines.
Oh, yeah.
The drummer, they're awfully local to here, but the drummer kind of drinks in the same pub as me. And I think that, I don't know if it was in America. They went to America. They won a competition to go and record in America, and I think it might have been there that they worked with him. But they constantly talk about him. They've got a podcast, and they're always talking about him as if he's their best mate. But he's never been on the podcast, so. But they're cracking guests as well. George Harrison, he seems to be the most popular Beatle all of a sudden. I did like 50 episodes, and I called it season 1. And I'd done like a league table, and John Lennon won it hands down. But I think this batch of 50 episodes, George Harrison might be the most picked out the Beatles anyway.
I've just listened to All Things Must Pass. I mean, if you're gonna drop a 10 out of 10 like that, straight after the Beatles have split up, it makes you kind of think like I mean, it's hard to say because it's not like the Beatles could have possibly been any bigger. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you think of the class songs on that album that could easily have been Beatles songs.
Yeah, there's loads.
John and Paul just weren't having it, man.
Yeah, there's loads, man. And like, I just think like, imagine if he got like a bit more of a say like earlier on and stuff, like what would have happened. But yeah, he's definitely. I think he's. It's hard because I kind of think Paul's like the Donny of the Beatles. But George is the coolest by a mile.
Aye, cool, like hipster.
And what about yourself, Alex, man? They're a cracking bunch of heroes. How are you going to follow that?
Yeah, well, I mean, the film director thing's a good one. I'd like to speak to Robert De Niro about like all of his work, like like Goodfellas, like Godfather 2, Casino, even Meet the Fockers, man. He's good in Meet the Fockers too.
Yeah,
he's class.
What
and
about
then
that daft advert that he's in the new on the telly?
The Uber one. The Uber one. Yes, I know. Well, I mean, I'd speak to him about that if he can get his Uber Eats for free. He could get his Uber Eats for free, couldn't he? But I'd be cooking chicken gyros because that's my specialty at the moment. I'm beating that to death. And then Dave Grohl, because he just seems sound. Well, like he just seems so nice. Maradona, I'd love to cook for Maradona because I reckon he'd be a good laugh. And then going along with the Beatles, I reckon I would probably, because I'm a bit of a nerd about them, I think probably Paul, because I reckon whether I reckon I could
got
pick
the most
his
questions for him.
I reckon I could pick his brains on like the Beatles and
his gloves off.
Yeah, whereas like John Lennon would tell us to be like to like make love not war. So would George Harrison, to be honest with you. Ringo, I mean he's too chilled, but Paul would probably let us ask him all the questions. Do you know what I mean? So that'd probably be my 4.
See the way you built up that last bit with the beetle. I kind of thought I was like, surely no. I thought we were going to get the first person ever to pick Ringo Starr, but it never happened.
Ringo would just be happy to be there, man.
Yeah, he'd be great, but I just think Paul would suffer us a bit more, like asking all of the really like pointless niche questions about recording Revolver and stuff. Like he would probably suffer that a bit more. Ringo would probably just tell us to like be happy. Do you know what I mean?
Dave Grohl would be a proper fanboy there, I think, as well with Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Did Dave Grohl come on stage with him at Glastonbury or something a few years back?
Did yes, he did. What did he? I think he might have did Band on the Run.
That's right. That's it.
I did Band on the Run with him, and I think like I've heard stories about Paul McCartney teaching his daughter piano,
right,
and stuff like that. So
that's mental, isn't it? When you think about these guys, man, being best mates and that.
Yeah, I know, hanging out and that. Oh man.
Because obviously Dave Grohl, he's good pals with Liam, and I think they had a bit of a fallout with Noel at Glastonbury there.
Oh, did they?
Well, Noel's comments that he didn't have any time to speak to him because he's hanging about the Iran Gallagher or something like that. I think
Yeah.
Liam's always been my favourite anyway.
I mean, we've spoke about this, haven't we, Alfie? In terms of like Noel, obviously gifted at writing the songs, and has probably kept his voice like the best, if not improved it, probably. But
no one wants to be Noel.
You go to see Liam, don't you? Like he's just such like a character.
And we saw Liam at Leeds Festival in 2021. And he was absolutely class, and we're seeing Noel this year at Kendall Calling. So
we've got the notebook. We're taking notes. Believe us, we're taking notes.
Well, I just seen Liam there a couple of weeks ago at the Hydro. Denny's definitely made it, and it was absolute class, man.
Yeah, how was that? Was it good? Was it a good show?
Brilliant, man, brilliant. His voice is sounding better than ever.
Is it?
And obviously I blagged free tickets because I know he's PR, so I get tickets for that.
Oh, class!
You can't go wrong with that.
Not at all.
But I mean, I've seen BDI. The first Stone Roses concert in Manchester. BDI played, and I thought they were brilliant as well. I really thought there was more to come for them.
Yeah, they kind of like, I think they had a couple of good ones and then just sort of flopped.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just the heart wasn't in it or something.
Yeah. How do you follow Oasis? Like, how do you, like, especially like what they would have been dealing with the fact that obviously Noel leaves or whatever. How do you follow something that big?
It's good in Liam's documentary to go through all that. It's really good.
Yeah. So another cracking bunch of heroes. That's another 8 heroes to add to my list. I'm up to, this will be episode 97, so I'm 3 episodes away from doing another league table. I'm just waiting another couple of guests, and then I'm going to have the band, my band on for episode 100. So I will do a wee league table, and hopefully George Harrison will not be far for the top this time. But it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. All the best for the next 6 months, and then whatever comes after that. I'll be looking at to see this headline show as well, and if I can get my arse down to Newcastle, I might come and see you.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Oh, definitely drop us a message if you can.
Yeah, thanks very much for having us on. It's been a pleasure.
There's definitely lots to come for this Newcastle scene. So I'll be keeping my eye on it and keep my eye on yourselves and everything else it's about. But absolute pleasure speaking to you.
Likewise.
Enjoy the rest of your day, boys.
You too.
See you later, mate.
Very much.
I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Time for Heroes podcast. If you would like to get in touch, the best way is on the Facebook page, Time for Heroes podcast, or on Instagram at Time for Heroes podcast, or Twitter at Time for Heroes P1, or drop me an email at timeforheroespod@gmail.com. timeforheroespod.com. You'll find Time for Heroes on all podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple, Google and Amazon. Please leave a review where you can, share with others, and more importantly, enjoy.